How do we take this neat frame running Microsoft Teams display and move it to AOSP? So, first of all, let's check what the device is today. We have device settings and we go to Teams and we can see it's running company portal. So this is running Android Device Administrator. So now we need to push a firmware upgrade. Now the firmware upgrade will not come from Neat. It must come from your Teams Admin Center. So onto your Teams devices, for example, we go to displays and we see we have my device here. Now to push devices with the latest firmware, it must be done through Teams Admin Center. It's not quite here yet. As you can see, it's got company portal already installed still. So when the firmware is available, you will have an update button. It will tell you clearly this is AOSP software. Upload the firmware, which I will do in the background. We'll see the device restart and then apply the AOSP settings, remove company portal, install Intune and Authenticator, and then it will sign back in and be ready for use. So let's go ahead and push the update. So now you can see it's downloading the firmware. So this is essentially, this would come from Teams Admin Center. Depending on your internet speed, that will be how quick it will bring that down. And then it will apply the update and then reboot the device. So again, when you do your updates through your Teams Admin Center, it will be manual. These are not going to automatically update your devices because obviously you will need to have your Intune enrollment code. And while that's updating, let's go and show you that again. So under our devices, we go to enrollment, and we will then select Android, and then we will select our AOSP corporate-owned user-associated devices. You can only ever have one policy. If you did create one before and it's maybe inactive, you need to change the filter so you would see it, because it only shows the active ones. When you create this token, it can be for 65 years. And again, here's our token. You can see the expiry date. Ignore this QR code. You don't need it. You'll never need it on the Teams devices. The Teams app automatically sees it and Intune when it enrolls, so that's not required. Again, you just have one token. If I try to create a second one, it will fail because in the token, let me show you, create a policy, you have one toggle. So that can only ever be one, and Wi-Fi isn't supported. So if I did try and create this, next, it will fail. It doesn't tell you why it failed, but the real reason is because you can only have one Teams devices. So if you've got different regions for your organization, again, you can't have separate enrollment policies for each region. You have one for your global Intune tenant. If you want to get granular, then that's where you bring your compliance and conditional access policies in place and add them in. So previously, you may have had a policy for Android Device Administrator. You must create new policies for Android AOSP. So when I go policy and I choose the platform, it must be AOSP. Your previous policies will obviously be ADA. So you'll need to mimic them to have them on your platform so the devices can enroll and be safe. So that's the Intune part. Very simple to set up that one token. And if you obviously have compliance conditional access policies, make sure they are set. I am taking this device from 24.6 to 25.1.1. Very nearly completed. Downloading, and then it'll finalize the firmware, make sure it's good, that it's downloaded it. Nothing happens until it reboots, which it's doing now. So now it's rebooted, you can see it's installing Intune apps, you get the heads up notification at the top. And down the bottom, you see some text migrating to Microsoft Teams on AOSP. So make sure you have network available, etc. to complete this migration. Once it's done, that's it. It signs back in. When we can get the device back online, we can refresh our page here because this will then show that the apps have changed. So every couple of minutes, it will sync back into Teams Admin Center. We'll be able to see that company portal is no longer on the device and it has Intune and Authenticator apps on there. That's it. As you can see, it's already updated. Company portal is gone, and we have the Authenticator and Intune applications. And also, you get a new Teams app version, so you get the latest build there as well. As part of the bundle, you get the Teams app upgraded as well. How do we check if things have gone smoothly? So we go to our devices, we go to Android, and we'll see, actually, so we search for my device. So we'll see that we have my device. You can see the Android OS, so it moves from Device Administrator to AOSP. And that's how you can tell the device has been successful. Neat frame. So you can see my neat frame, and then we go to properties, and you can see the hardware details. It's AOSP. So it's updated. How else can you look? You can also look at your logs in Azure as well. So I can go to portal.azure, and what I'm able to see is within Entra ID, I go to devices, audit logs, and from here I can see my device and modified properties. So again, this takes a while for the logs to come through on here, but it actually keeps the same ID of the device, but it updates the properties. So it will change it from ADA to AOSP that we saw a minute ago. So that's actually updated in here, so that's a handy way to come in and check. So I can come in here, modified properties, it's still updating. There you go. It's moved from Android to Android AOSP. So it's updated all these fields within Intune, which then obviously updates your devices over here, and then it keeps it up to date in TAC as well. So it's all consistent through your Microsoft platform. And that's it. That is a AOSP migration. Not very exciting, but a lot of engineering work in the back end to make it all happen. And your device is now running. So we can go to our device settings, go to our Teams app, and we will see we've got Intune and Authenticator installed there as well. So company portal removed, and that's it. That's the migration done. Any questions? Let us know.